I'm just going to share my screen here. So welcome everyone. If you are new to the Rainforest, my name is Bridget Legault. I am the community manager with Rainforest Alberta down in Calgary. We have Amber Rowden here, who is our community storyteller in Calgary. And then we have some folks from the Edmonton Steering Committee who can give a virtual wave joining us. And I will pass it over momentarily to James to introduce the Rainforest. But can you see my screen here?
Yes.
Okay. So before we get started, I just wanted to say a few words in the spirit of reconciliation. So we acknowledge that we live, work, and play on the unceded and traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, which include the Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, the Tsuut'ina, and the Stoney and Dakota Nations, and the Métis Nation Region 3, for those situated in the Calgary area. So we'd like to acknowledge all the people who make their homes in the Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta. And for those in the Edmonton area, we acknowledge the traditional lands of the Treaty 6 territory of the Cree, Dene, Blackfoot, Saulteaux, Nakota Sioux, as well as the Métis. And if you're in other areas outside of Edmonton or Calgary, we ask that you take a moment to acknowledge those unceded territories as well. So I'll pass it over to James in Edmonton to intro us to the Rainforest.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. James Kierstead. I am a local entrepreneur. I have a company called Levin Electronics, and we're in the IoT space. I'm excited to be a supporter of the Rainforest for the last 6 years now. So welcome, and videos coming up. Oh, great work, Amber.
Here it comes.
What does it take to realize an idea? Or for a seed to sprout? At Rainforest Alberta, we know the answer is rooted in trust. Traditionally, Albertans have cultivated their ideas in established systems. Inputs that don't fit these systems are weeded out. Opportunities for growth are missed. But now, Albertans want a dynamic landscape that can evolve organically, like a rainforest. At Rainforest Alberta, we believe a culture of trust is the fertile soil where ideas grow. Our budding innovation ecosystem is a network of relationships pulling each other up as they push forward in their own field. Trust breaks down barriers. An open, inclusive network increases collaborative innovation. Successful breakthroughs inspire new ideas. A cycle begins. Rainforest Alberta is a movement to amplify trust by cultivating honesty, inclusion, and accountability. How? Our social contract holds us accountable to demonstrate trust across the province. We meet to have honest conversations around collaboration. This leads to more inclusive spaces for everyone to fearlessly build new ideas together. By raising the standard of trust, Alberta's ideas, talent, and resources can be evergreen. Visit rainforestab.ca to sign the social contract and start growing together.
So we use 6 pillars to guide our conversations and actions. Not are all weighted equally. Like any ecosystem, the right balance is crucial. In our ecosystem, we measure culture, leaders, resources, engaged activities, policy and infrastructure, and role models, with a real focus on developing leadership and culture through trust in the community. I'm excited to be a part of this and supporting it here in Edmonton, and really feel very welcome all the time at the Lunch Without Lunch here in across Alberta. So tips for making this a good Lunch Without Lunch for everybody: introduce yourself in the chat. I see a lot of people put their names on there on their chat window, which is great. Connect with other individuals through DMs. Put your camera on. We like to see each other when we talk. Ask questions. Keep connecting on the Rainforest Slack workspace, and check out lunch notes for a capture of today's chat. And Lunch Without Lunch recordings are also posted on YouTube.
Awesome. Thanks, James. So with that, I'm not sure, we'll throw the link also for the social contract if you've not been able to sign The social contract, you can do so on our website, and that will give you access to that Slack channel that James mentioned. I'm going to turn it over to Amber to introduce our next virtual tour, part of our virtual tour series this summer that will carry on into the fall. So Amber, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Bridget. Hello, everyone. All right, so Ellie Bianca is a holistic skincare line that cultivates and empowers women through sustainable business practices and fair trade. Evelyne moved to Canada from Kenya at the age of 16 and put herself through a Bachelor and a Master of Science degree while being a single mom. She built Ellie Bianca on her desire to be an example to her daughter of what women are capable of and to empower other women to succeed. From sourcing ingredients from women in Africa and mentoring other women entrepreneurs to running the Ellie Bianca Women's Scholarship for Single Mothers. Now in their 6th year of operation, Ellie Bianca is a Canadian-based skincare line that boasts 34 all-natural products. They use organic oils and butters from Africa and all over the world to formulate and produce many of their products. With her background as a chemist, they are combining modern-day science and the power of plants that have been used for centuries. So without further ado, I'm very excited to introduce Evelyne. I will pass it over to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Amber, and for that kind introduction. And thank you for having us on these lunch hour tours. We're excited to be here to share a little bit of our journey and, hopefully we can continue to inspire each other as we reinvent and re-innovate ourselves in this new, I call it new economy almost, yes. So a little bit about our brand. Of course, we launched about 6 years ago on this strong mission. Just like most of us in the province, I did a lot of work in the oil and gas, traveled all over the world, building oil and gas facilities. And on one of those points, I found myself in Central Africa, in Chad. And while wanting to purchase mangoes, I was asked to pay the husband when it was really the woman who had done the work. I felt that, this happens everywhere, including in the boardrooms right here in Calgary. And I wanted to ignite conversations on what we can do and maybe move the needle a little bit. So we're going to play a little video that tells you a little bit of what excites me every day and why I'm so passionate about skincare and women empowerment. Need volume?
We need some volume.
It's volume. For some reason, it's low.
Wait, let me just turn the volume up. Can everyone else hear it fine?
No, we can't. But if
you should probably check. Does she have it checked off in Zoom?
Yeah. So when you share your screen,
when you go to share in Zoom, there should be. I can't remember where, but there is a checkbox that you check for audio.
If you stop screen sharing, Kamal, and then share again, before you press share the second time, you'll see those spots. Perfect.
Sounds good, yes.
Thanks, guys.
I am Evelyne Nyairo, founder of Ellie Bianca, an all-natural skincare line that is built on 3 pillars: kind to your skin, kind to the earth, and kind to women. I launched Ellie Bianca after visiting a country in Central Africa, in Chad. After eating mangoes and being asked to pay the husband, I felt obligated that I needed to do something to empower women. Starting Ellie Bianca, it was really important to me that our brand was grounded on the 3 pillars of being kind to your skin, kind to the earth, and kind to women. Looking at kind to your skin, our skin is our largest organ. So when we're sourcing ingredients, we want to, make sure that they're non-GMO, they're sustainably grown, of course, fair trade. But we're looking at those ingredients as skin food. After all, our skin is our largest organ. Kind to the earth. Sustainability is at the core of our business. It's really important to me that we constantly look for ways to minimize our carbon footprint. Look for ways to ensure that future generations, our children, our grandchildren, will be able to enjoy what we've enjoyed today. Kind to women. Of course, this is the reason why Ellie Bianca started. From working with women-run co-ops in Africa, supporting mothers to be able to put their children back to school in Africa, to our Ellie Bianca Women's Scholarship. Our brand is about creating a global connection of empowered women. What is so beautiful about being part of Ellie Bianca is that when you invest in purchasing Ellie Bianca, you're not just investing in the health of your skin, but you're investing in creating a better world for women. So that kind of gives you a little bit of, why the brand got started and why I'm so excited about building this brand. Of course, we've been really growing our market share since day one and expanding and building and reinventing ourselves. And just before the pandemic, we had huge plans. I had traveled to Germany, and we were looking into the European market and seeing, how do we get outside of Canada and really grow. But just like everyone, I think I got back home February or March 15th or so, and just like everyone, all those plans had to be put on the shelf, and we had to really step back and say, oh my goodness, what do we do now that our world has been shut down? I remember those dark moments. It was actually ended up being so gloomy too, where my team couldn't come to the office, and it was just me. And literally coming here at 1 a.m. at night and saying, I need to have another plan. What can we do? How do we get things going? And I started writing on the white paper, just putting ideas down. Then of course, at the same time, Service Canada was sending notes saying, we need to build capacity. What do we need to do? How do we build Canadian capacity here? So jumped on, and I thought, you know what? I could not invent a vaccine, or maybe if I joined a biotech company, I could contribute, but I want to be part of the solution. So we jumped on, and I said, you know what, I'm going to start researching right now, and I'm going to develop a formulation, and we will start doing hand sanitizers. But I don't want just to put out any hand sanitizers. I want to make sure that we're putting the quality out there that is going to be moisturizing, that is really going to feed our largest organ. And then, of course, I had to start looking at what are the regulatory requirements, what am I going to need, because we need a lot. We're going to need lots of hand sanitizers. So the next day I reached out to David Fielder at BIBIC, at the Bio Innovation Center. I said, David, I'm thinking about jumping on and doing hand sanitizers. What do we do? David said, you know what, we can really help you scale up. You can come and do the production at the facility in Edmonton. So we kept worked on the regulatory aspect, got all the approvals from Health Canada. And of course, at the same time, I'm working on the formulation with the BIBIC team. And voila, we were able to launch hand sanitizers. I think we were able to distribute over 200,000 hand sanitizers during that period. But what I love to hear is when people say, there's hand sanitizers out there that smell like tequila, but the Ellie Bianca hand sanitizer are super moisturizing and they smell good. So we're going to play a little bit of a video here to show you that journey during that moment, so you can see how the government also stepped up to support us, really keep our community safe, but at the same time, make sure that we are able to keep our team employed. And at the same, we were also able to hire others who had lost their jobs during that time. So then whilst the video is playing, so as came around May, one of our largest customer reached out to us saying that they're noticing that there's a shortage in soaps. There was, most of the natural soaps come from the US, most of the known brands are American brands, and that supply chain was getting disrupted because Americans are also saying they want to supply their people first before they will supply to us here in Canada. So they asked me if we could again quickly jump on and formulate hand soaps that we can put out into the market. So again, jumping on and working on those formulations, getting them up, ready to go, and we were able to go back to BIPIC and be able to scale them up at the facility there. So this picture kind of shows you some of the students that we hired, some of the people that had lost work that we brought on board to help us. And it's not just creating the employment, but it's also supporting the entire supply chain that support us. It's making, like, the labels, the designer that creates the labels for us, it's another woman-owned business here in Calgary. The printer that prints the labels, it's another woman-owned company here in Calgary. So really thinking and saying, yeah, these are tough times, but how do we make sure that we're keeping that supply chain going for all of us? So, I mean, that's just a little bit about, how we've been able to push. And, what is so exciting, I always say as an entrepreneur, even when things get really tough, I often remind myself that, with every challenge, there's an opportunity. So how do I look at opportunity and how do I become part of the solution? And I'm not going to really stew myself on what's going on. And as we are keeping going and challenging the status quo and reaching out and really pushing and making sure, I promised myself, right from that 1 a.m. night when I was here in the office trying to set things up, I said, yes, I know it's going to be tough, but I want our brand to keep inspiring hope because that's who we are. But at the same time, I want to make sure that we are going to thrive during this pandemic. And as we pushed on, others get to notice. I often say that if you keep showing up, even when you don't feel like, luck will find you, that commitment, that push, and luck will find you. And we've just launched our brand at the Bay, and we'll be launching across Canada. We had a successful launch here in Calgary at Market Mall and South Centre, and this Friday we will be at Chinook, and our team will be at Chinook, and I will be in Toronto activating the GTA area. And of course, after that, it's going to be Montreal, it's going to be Ottawa, it's going to be Vancouver and Winnipeg. And it's just really exciting to see that, big companies are also stepping up and saying, we're going to create opportunities for smaller brands. But then you have to be ready. When they step up, you need to be ready and ready to go. And it was so timely that when we reached out to them and they decided to create the opportunity for us, that we were ready to go. We had the products ready. It's like our products are finished and ready to be put out, and such a beautiful and amazing opportunities. And again, we could not have been able to get these accomplished if it's not for PIPIC helping us scale up and be able to meet the large demands. Yeah, we've just completed a new product that we're going to be launching, a beautiful face toner that, again, we were doing it in small scale here in our small facility, but then we're able to scale it up again at PIPIC Center.
Congratulations, Evelyne. That's incredible growth. And yeah, Adam says nice booth. Like that is like look out Chanel or whoever else is in the Bay there. Like you stand out. It's absolutely gorgeous. Can you tell us if anyone else has questions, if you want to throw them in the chat, or you can raise your hand and ask Evelyne directly. But I'm just curious. I honestly didn't know anything about BPIC, the Bioprocessing Innovation Center. So did they do your manufacturing, majority of your manufacturing for those products, and the sanitizer and the soap, or what services exactly do they provide?
The way it normally works is that you will rent the facility from them, right? So they're not a total manufacturing facility. The intent is a place where you scale up. So one, you can do the piloting. So if you have a formulation and you're not so sure, you can run it as a pilot there. And then, they work as a scale up place. It's that in between when, you either don't have your own facility able to take care of the volume, or you don't have the funds to be able to pay a huge toll manufacturing facility. So they are just amazing facility to support that.
Okay.
Because again, they have all their QA, QC. I mean, they are certified GMP by Health Canada. They have their license from Health Canada. And so that when you have the product, you can also compete in the marketplace. Like right now, we're working with a large distributor in the Middle East that has lots and lots of requirements. But because we have the partnership with the Bio Innovation Center, so we are able to meet some of those requirements. So you can actually break some of the barriers that come from big companies that, if you're a small company and you're not able to be set up that way.
So it's kind of like the Leduc facility is for food. This is for non-food products. So that's awesome.
That's correct.
Okay, gotcha. Jesse has a question. If you want to go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah, I was hoping you could expand on that point you made where, these large companies like the Bay are stepping up to help businesses like yours, but you need to be kind of ready to launch, something like your booth. I was hoping you could maybe expand a little bit more on that journey in terms of building the relationship, getting, everything brought together to actually make that launch day happen.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've always had, one of the goals I've had ever since we launched the brand, I often said, I want to build a global brand. I want to build a brand that, when you see the Chanels of the world, or when you're thinking about France, you think about Paris, New York, London, I want Calgary to be on the map when they think of our brand. And that is the finesse from the ingredient quality, the packaging, just having everything ready. So it becomes so much easier when you're presenting. So, from day one, that has been the mandate. It's the science behind our formulation. It's how we present ourselves. So it just makes it easier to sell. I remember once being on our second year being at a trade show and Whole Foods coming and noticing us. We only had 2 products, but they noticed us because they noticed the packaging, they noticed the ingredients, and they said, this is a brand we can stand behind. So basically that is the readiness that I'm talking about. And then also knowing the regulatory requirements. What are the regulatory requirements? What does Health Canada require? If you're going to a new market, what is that market requiring? And taking the time to be ready so that when you're presenting yourself, you have everything that you need. So when we presented to the Bay, it was an easy sell because we had what they were looking for. Lots of customers now are looking for clean products, clean ingredients. They're looking for the packaging. They're looking for the language, so being able to have both French and English. So it just became really an easy sell for them to bring us in because we were exactly what they were looking for at the right time.
That's incredible because it's such a competitive sector.
But what is so funny is there's also the power of intent. I had, so prior to for my 2020 plan, I had them on my wall. I had no clue how we were going to make it, but they were my target. So, and it's funny that almost, over 70% of what was on the wall, we've managed to accomplish it. So always, have the plan, work the plan. As I said, somehow the opportunities will find themselves.
Good for you. Brent has a question.
Thanks, Bridget. Excellent presentation. Thanks, Evelyne. So interesting to see your passion for what you're doing. I have sort of a technical question or a more tactical question, and that's, you mentioned about the QA, QC with putting your product together, and I'm curious, everyone seems to have fun with source materials. Where you get them from? Are you having trouble getting your material, the materials? Is your partnership helping with that?
Yes, so of course, it's particularly now logistics, it's just been an issue, everywhere. So one has to plan really, really well, and always, plan A and plan B is not good enough. You almost want to have plan C and D always. And that kind of has been my plan all along in terms of contingency. And, building your partnership up so that you don't, you make sure that you do not lose the quality along the way. So, we've set up, some of our suppliers, we set them up in advance that this is what we require. We need certificate of analysis for everything. So even those that don't have, I know that, we used to get marula oil from South Africa, but then with COVID, it was such a huge issue we could not get. But we had an Italian partner that we've been working with and building the QA QC with them with another supplier from Namibia. So when things got really bad, that Namibian supplier, through our partnership with this Italian company, came on board to supply the marula. So again, prepping them and saying, we need CO base for everything. So you can't just send us product here. We need to make sure that it's been tested. And then it's also been retested either in Europe or in Canada, so that we know that we can stand by that brand. And then, especially like with the soaps and where you need all the surfactants, we had to have several suppliers, both Canadian, American, just having that contingency and then planning in advance so that you don't really have to compromise on quality.
Yeah, good lesson for any entrepreneur.
And it costs a little bit more. So that willingness to say, you know what, I'm not going to compromise quality for price. So maybe pay $1 more, but be able to get what you can stand by.
Mm-hmm. We have another question around, are you a social enterprise, or are you looking at B Corp certification? Is that something you'd consider? Yeah,
so we actually had set the brand, we are kind of set up as a social enterprise because we are a social enterprise. Really the women empowerment piece is, what made me to shift gears to be able to create that impact. But we kind of got caught on the doing, that we didn't go through the paperwork of setting us up as a B Corp, but it is on our target to accomplish.
Sorry, my mute button keeps sticking. Mike is asking how many products you have now. I think we mentioned it in the intro, was it?
Yeah, we have I think we have about 34 SKUs right now, and we have 18 that we'll be launching in the next 4 months. Before the end of the year, we have about 16 other SKUs that we'll be putting to market.
So you have a manufacturing, sorry if I missed it, but is there a manufacturing facility then in Calgary other than what you do with the innovation?
Yes, so we have, in Calgary, we do lots of small batches. So we do have a facility here in Calgary where we do a lot of our small batch runs, and this is where most of the R&D is done. And then when we are ready to scale up and we have the large production, so those we'll do in Edmonton.
Awesome. Well, I'll if there are any other questions, throw your hand up now, or you can throw it in the chat. But hopefully, Evelyne, you'll be able to stay with us into our next part of the hour, which is networking and getting to know each other. You're getting lots of praise in the chat for excellent and passionate work. So thanks for sharing your story with us. It's incredible. It's refreshing to hear of different innovation other than, say, software, hardware. We're going into the food and skincare realms here in the next few weeks at Lunch Without Lunch. So thanks again. We'll open up the networking rooms now. We'll probably have time for about 3 of them. And if you get stuck in a small group because people have bailed out, then just come back to the main room and we'll reassign you. And we'll be back at 5 to 1 for community announcements. So stay tuned for that as well. So off we go. Enjoy, everyone. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.
Ellie Bianca.
Thank you for having us.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are going to shake up the rooms. I'm gonna just.
Is our guest going to be back to answer questions? Because our group's created some questions.
Oh, wow. Okay. Participation points over there, Peter. Let's just do that right now, and then we'll head into one last breakout room.
Sure. So the group's question was that very beautiful display that was in the bay, that whole retail experience. Was that something you had to put together that they accepted, or did they help you create that, or how did that work?
So, within our team here, we have, a marketing team. So, Como, who you've seen, she leads that team. She's our brand manager. So she and the marketing team worked on designing all the visuals. So, we have a lot more visuals from the booth itself to, the actual posters that are standing around the stores. So we came up with the messaging, but mainly they approve it. Yeah, just making sure that we're staying with their brand. But most of the work was done by ourselves. We went there, we checked things out, and then the team here put it together.
Awesome. Any other questions, Peter?
Yeah, the other question was, is she working, doing a multi-level marketing sort of approach with this as well?
So Peter, multi-level marketing, we did consider it, but for the North America market, we discounted it. We just felt that it would not be the right approach for the brand, but we do know that it is on our list for some markets. Like the Vietnamese market, for example, was one where we identified that it could be. We did a very extensive brand strategy and brand briefing that we developed right at the beginning that really laid out, where do we sell? So we work with a national distributor that distribute our products across Canada. We also sell directly to stores like to the Bay and the like. Our essential line is available at Sobeys Safeway. And then we also sell on the e-commerce site. And we have recently, as the pandemic, we created another level where we are also doing private label. So we are helping others that might, you have an event and you want 1,000 units, but you want it branded to your event. We can do that.
Thank you very much. We were very impressed. And TJ and Gary would like some free samples because they're having issues with their epidermis.
We'll love to send free samples so they can really build it up.
It's just old age on my part.
We can age with grace.
I love it. How big is your team?
So we're actually on a very small team. We have, how many are we? We have 4 of us, and 4 or 5. 5 or so, and then we work with other, like I said, our designer that designs our packaging. It's another woman-run business here in Calgary. So we have others that fit into our group to support us.
Yeah, small but mighty. Holy. Okay, we will. Okay, so we can answer maybe the men's skincare questions in the chat, and I will open up the last group so we have time to do one, maybe two more. Okay, they want to know. We won't hold anyone in suspense. Is there a men's line?
We do. So our naked line, which is fragrance free, was created for the men. And we actually are going to be expanding that. But we do have the naked line. So if you go online, put Ellie Bianca, naked skin oil, naked face oil, that is purely created for you.
Oh, I also love fragrance free. So that's good to know. Okay, here we go. Off to the rooms. Have fun. There, Heike was the only one back early. Okay, we have a plethora of announcements today. There's a lot of stuff about to come down the pipe in September. So get your summer rest on now before things get crazy. We will be hosting with Cybersecure Canada a workshop on cybersecurity. So what you need to know to keep your startup safe against cyber attacks, cybersecurity essentials, and all sorts of good stuff. It'll be one workshop on, the date is
September 14th from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m.
Thank you. And if there's an appetite for more, we'll run another one after that. Also, just wanted to promote the Tech West Collective is doing another huge career fair with several companies. And so registration for that, for all those looking for careers or pivots, is on September 1st is registration. And I think the date is September 23rd or something, but you can find more details in the link I just threw in there. We put a note in the Rainforest Slack about the podcast. As you know, Al promotes every week the podcast, looking for hosts and guests. And some of you reached out to me and couldn't get through on the form. So we will get back to you. I imagine Al is busy with the Evolve You demo day, which is happening tomorrow. So plug for the demo day if you want to check out what the Evolve You students, who are very active rainforesters generally, are up to with their cohort projects. That's all morning tomorrow, and I will put that in the chat. And then Amber has an announcement. Tickets for Adventures available.
Sorry. Yeah, so if you want to come to Adventures in Calgary, September 22nd to 24th, we have a chance to give away first come, first serve tickets. All you have to do is fill out this form that I'll put in a link in the chat. We just want to know a couple questions from you, and we would love to see you there in person if you're comfortable with that. So I will put that in the chat.
Awesome. So I think Adventures is also still looking for volunteers, and I think you get a free ticket if you get a volunteer spot. So you can check that out on their website as well. And now, any other announcements from everyone?
Hi, everyone. Travis with Dynamic Innovations. So we're sponsoring a children's youth craft fair. It's actually also being sponsored by Granary Mills down in Calgary. There's a bunch of companies in the Calgary area that are supporting it. So it's kids aged, I think it's 5 to 18. Yeah. It's October 16th. There's a $10 fee per table, and there's reward prizes and stuff like that. So yeah, if you guys have kids, you want to get them into an entrepreneurial kind of situation, yeah. I just put in the chat there a little package, and then also a link to sign up.
Awesome, Travis. That sounds great. Anyone else?
Are we still posting events and stuff in Slack, or are we still recommending that as a way
Yes.
to get our messages out?
Yes, there is a events channel in our Slack workspace. So if you're looking for other events that are going on, folks are generally posting them there. So you can check that out there. Then for upcoming Lunch Without Lunches, we have Jana Regier from True Angle in her new space coming up on the 1st, and on the 8th, we have Erin Moffat, who we all know from the Rainforest has a new position at Confined Space Robotics. So she's going to be showing us around their space on the 8th. And we have Margot from Heyday Fermentables, who's here today joining us to show us her company on September 15th. So Stay tuned for all of that in September. Big shout out to anyone and everyone. Jade's here, I know, who were involved with organizing the Great Alberta Pitch Marathon last Thursday. Was so much fun. And through that, over 100 companies pitched. Jade probably has more stats on that, but we put out a shout out to people to present and show us their startups at Lunch Without Lunch. And so we have just quite the lineup now for the rest of the year. Jade, any comments on the Great Alberta Pitch Marathon?
Yeah, it was good. We had well over 800 views. We also had over 120 people show up for our event at Craft, and starting obviously last Thursday and every Thursday moving forward, we will be meeting at Craft 6 to 9 p.m. So feel free to come out and meet some like-minded people.
Awesome.
I have a couple of things, if that's okay, Bridget.
Yeah.
It is, I'm hosting the Rainforest Connector on Tuesday at September 14th at 4 p.m. And the theme is educational tech. So we have 3 entrepreneurs talking about their cool technology companies, including Onlia, Intelemedia, and Transformana. Onlia is the one that has Indigenous 101 that went viral thanks to the actors from famous Creek sitcom. And then as well, I just saw an announcement for the Banff Venture Forum, which is going to be happening in December. So I just wanted to share the excitement that Banff Venture Forum is happening. So Rainforest Connector, the link for the session is on our website. It's on the Rainforest website, and and it's on Eventbrite. If you look for Rainforest Connector events, Eventbrite, sign up.
Awesome. So much happening. Anyone else?
Yeah, I've got one. I just put a link in the chat there. It's a CMX Summit. It's pretty much everything about community, developing community, or ecosystems, as they might be called. And it's free, 3 days. There's all kinds of things to be involved in, including how to raise backyard chickens for a little bit of fun.
Yeah, that's great. We had Beth from CMX present a few months ago, and I forgot to reshare that, V. So thanks for doing that. Bringing community into your marketing strategy as a startup is an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for Brent for reminding me of that presentation by CMX.
Yeah, they have a bunch of spin-off community, the kind of micro communities too, on different niche topics. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, we're at the top of the hour. So if anyone wants to stick around, feel free. We'll keep the room open for a bit. Big thank you to Ellie Bianca and Evelyne and her team for sharing with us today, and everyone for making time for the Rainforest. So we'll see you next week.